gentlemen, thank you very much for your thoughts. It's a very interesting discussion that we're having this evening. Just a very quick question, which is in layman's terms. There's a lot of people here that just want to hear it simple. The discussion is about banks not lending. Does it stop there? Is that what we're talking about? Mr. Kerr was talking about regulations, government that is going to come in and create new regulations. Are we talking about waiting for governments to regulate? Just one last little point, Mr. Schiff. I adore your point of view. However, we cannot let the dollar sink. The economies of the world are too interconnected. You know that as much as the rest of us. Thank you very much.
Much greater than the cost of lending at stake. Let me address your question about credit. Because you have to understand where credit comes from. I mean, credit comes from savings. You can't loan out money to somebody who has a save. And the reason that banks aren't lending is they've lost a lot of money. Their capital has been impaired. And the fact that credit is being restricted is a good thing. In fact, one of the most unproductive uses of credit is for consumers to borrow money and spend it. And the fact that consumer credit is now being restrained by market forces is a great thing. It's unfortunate the government is interfering with it. But in America, we don't need Americans borrowing money to buy cars. We don't need too many cars. We don't want to borrow money to buy appliances, to take vacations. Americans need to be saving their money. So the fact that credit is contracting is nothing the government should interfere with. Of course, you've also got governments now that are borrowing so much money. This is crowding out everybody else. If you look at what's happening with interest rates, one of the reasons that credit is so tight is because the government is borrowing everything. Look at how much money the federal government is borrowing. There's nothing left. What we need is to rein in government borrowing and consumer borrowing, and then credit will be available where it should be, which is to entrepreneurs and businesses who will use that savings productively to make capital investments. Because that's the only type of borrowing that we want. We don't want to borrow and spend. We want to borrow to invest and produce.
Can I ask someone else? Is anyone who can speak to the first question? The first question was about whether it's just a banking problem or it goes beyond banks to, I guess, other kinds of financial institutions.
We spend most of our time advising companies that make things and sell them and so on and so forth. To make money the old-fashioned way. And I would say that what is interesting about this, so you say